I'm SD, and if you're new, I show guys like you how to tailor their own clothes at home. And the absolute last thing that I want you to do is to get really excited about this and you're out there researching sewing machines and you pick one up for a couple $100, you use it twice, and then never again. So for your first sewing machine, cheap is absolutely the name of the game. But hold on, when I say cheap, I do not mean one of those small little rinky-dink mini sewing machines. Or those stapler looking sewing machines either. Ooh. I mean a real full-sized sewing machine that somebody else bought, they used it 3 times and they got overwhelmed and now they want to get rid of it. That right there, that's the sweet spot. Now come here for a second. I need to clarify something. Cheap does not mean bad, nor does old mean bad. A used sewing machine is by no means nothing like a used smartphone from like 2011 where you try it out and you take a picture and the picture quality looks like a potato. A lot of older sewing machines were actually built with simpler parts and no nonsense, and they're missing all the aspects and features that you're never going to use. But that being said, that does not necessarily mean to go out and buy any old random dusty antique sewing machine that you see in somebody's basement. I mean, it still needs to work, it still needs to turn on, the needle still needs to move, and it still needs to be able to sew stitches, like, obviously. Okay, cool, fantastic, SD, that's all good and great and grand and fantastic, but give me a number. I need some numerical figures to look for as far as the price goes. Don't worry, I got you. I usually suggest people look around like a $30 all the way up to $80. Now I know that's kind of a really big variance, and there's some reasons for that. It's gonna make sense. Now on the lower end, as far as $30 go, you don't want to go anywhere less than that, because that's where you're going to run into those little rinky-dink mini sewing machines that act like, and they'll tell you that they are full-featured and they can do all the same things as a full-size sewing machine. No, they absolutely cannot. Those things are hot garbage. Avoid them like the plague. And what ends up happening is you'll try using one of those machines and you'll get super frustrated and overwhelmed and you're like, yo, all this stuff sucks. I can't tailor my own clothes. This is really hard. It's not you, it's the machine. And at the end of the day, if you paid like 20 bucks for it, you could have paid $20 more for a used full-size sewing machine that can do everything that you want it to do and tailor everything in your closet. Now on the higher end, once you get to around, $100 or $150, that's when you need to determine whether or not it's worth buying a used machine, because you can get a brand new full-size sewing machine for around that price. I think the Brother GX series, I see that all the time at Walmart for like 95 bucks, brand new. So if it's under $80, then used makes sense. But if it's over $100, then that's when you should probably look into the newer area. And once you get into that $200 to $400 range, that's got buyer's remorse written all over it. The reason for that is because those are going to be specialty sewing machines. So you're going to see things like quilting machines and embroidery machines. Those are machines for people who take up sewing as a hobby, as a craft, and they do all kinds of different crafts and hobbies. Those machines have a lot of features to them. They're going to have, let's say, 167 different features to them, and 165 of them you will never use if you just want to tailor your clothes. For basic clothing alterations, we just need a couple things: a straight stitch, a zigzag stitch, the ability to make a back stitch. And that, yep, that's it. And the straight stitch is going to be your main go-to stitch, and 99.5% of all sewing machines out there are going to be able to make a straight stitch. That's what's going to give our garment the new shape that we want to give it, a new, much more flattering side seam instead of those boxy, straight up and down side seams as our garment came from the store. In the zigzag stitch, it kind of plays 2 roles. It can be used as an alternative stitch if you want to have some stretch in that side seam for that garment, which we'll get to that another time. But primarily we use it to seal off the raw edge of our garment, because we're going to put a straight stitch on there and we're going to cut off that extra fabric. Well, all that extra fabric, it's going to fray on us, and we don't want any of that nonsense. So we gotta seal it off with a zigzag stitch. And I would say like 90% of all sewing machines out there can make a zigzag stitch, and 23% of all statistics are made up on the spot. The back stitch isn't really a stitch in and of itself, it's more of a feature. What that's going to do is that's going to give your ability for the sewing machine to go backwards. It's gonna lock in your stitch at the beginning and the end as you're sewing. So you're gonna sew forward, press and hold that back stitch lever. It's gonna reverse the direction and then kind of lock in what it is that you just sewed. And I don't know what percentage of sewing machines can do that. I'm gonna guess 69. And to clarify, a machine that can make extra stitches isn't necessarily a bad thing in and of itself, but it's absolutely by no means something that you should pay more money for. Because most beginners, they don't need more features. They need practice, they need reps, they need time. Me personally, I use the Brother ST371 HD. It is a heavy duty sewing machine and I love it, but for a beginner, no, you don't need that. It's overkill. Okay, thanks, Mr. Stylish D. Now I know how much I should pay for a cheap used sewing machine, but where do I find one? I have no idea where to look. I got you on that too. I mean, sure, you can buy a brand new sewing machine at Walmart or Target or Amazon or any of those big box stores, but a used, cheap sewing machine, an absolute gold mine where you're gonna find a steal of a deal is Facebook Marketplace, and it isn't even close. And it's because sewing machines are one of those things that a lot of people buy with like a random burst of ambition. They're like, oh, I'm gonna dive into this new hobby or this new craft and it's gonna be great. I bought a sewing machine. And then they watch 2 videos, try winding a bobbin, get really frustrated with it, and then they just quit. And that right there, that's where you come in. You're not looking for the person who sews regularly as a craft or as a hobby. You're looking for the person who bought a sewing machine, used it a couple of times, regretted it, got buyer's remorse, and just put it away somewhere. So just start by searching basic terms like used sewing machine and search for different brands like Singer and Brother or Janome or even Kenmore. They used to make some really great solid sewing machines a couple of decades ago. They don't make them anymore, but those are great machines if you can find those. Here's another one. Do not underestimate asking around in your family, because I guarantee you, I absolutely guarantee you, someone within your family, within your social network out there has a sewing machine like within their environment, within their home that they never use. And if you live in a country or a location where Facebook Marketplace isn't available or it's not a big thing, check whatever type of used marketplaces you have in your area, like OfferUp or Craigslist, or even just check like estate sales or garage sales. Somebody's got a sewing machine they haven't touched in years, and at this point, it's so big and bulky and cumbersome to them that they would just rather just get rid of it at whatever cost. You know, they're either gonna give it to you for a steal of a deal, or they might even give it to you for free. They just wanna be done with it. Now, when you're out there looking at used sewing machines, I don't want you to just check the price and get excited about it. There's a couple things that you want to check for as far as a checklist goes. First off, does it come with a power cord? Now, I know that might sound obvious, but here's kind of the situation that you might end up running into. Someone is out there selling their sewing machine and it's missing like all of the accessories, and again, they don't know. They either don't use it or they don't care, so they're like, yeah, it's got a couple things with it. Here you go. And then none of those accessories are either compatible with that machine or they don't work, and then you just you wasted your time and your money. And this is a big one. Ask them if it turns on, which seems like a no-brainer, but yeah, they're gonna tell you, oh yeah, it turned on, you know, the last time that I used it. But let's go a little bit further than that. Ask them for proof. Ask them for like just a 5 to 10 second video of the machine turning on, the light actually turns on, and maybe have them wind the hand wheel too to make sure that the needle moves fluidly. Now, when you're having these conversations with the seller or whoever it is that you're looking to get this used sewing machine from, you don't need to be like interrogating them or anything like that. But this is a really important conversation to have, because you want to make sure the sewing machine you're getting is in good condition. Because what could happen is you're getting one in bad condition and you're going to try it out and you're going to use it and you're going to say, oh man, I suck at this. I don't know how to tailor my own clothes. But it's not you, it's the machine. Now, I would be more careful with those listings that you'll see out there where the seller is someone who has taken up sewing as a craft or as a hobby, or just ultimately knows what it is that they're doing and they understand the value of the sewing machine that they're selling. That doesn't necessarily mean that it's gonna be a bad machine, but you're also really probably not gonna be getting a deal, because again, they know the value. You want that person who doesn't know what it's worth and they just want to get rid of it. I know some people out there are thinking thrift shops. Yes, you can find them at thrift shops, but they can also be kind of hit or miss at the same time. Sometimes, yeah, you can find a solid sewing machine there, but a lot of times what happens is you'll find the machine, but it's missing all kinds of different parts. Like it's missing the foot pedal, or it's missing presser feet, or whatever it may be, but the price isn't reflected in those missing parts. So you're sitting there looking at it like, why are you charging me this much money for like 3/4 of a sewing machine? Like, What? Now, once you get that machine home, don't just start diving into all your t-shirts and dress pants and chinos. No, 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 no. You gotta get those reps in. You gotta get that practice in. You wanna get a good feel for your machine. You wanna figure out, how does my presser foot work? What type of tension variances do I have? How does my foot pedal work? What's kind of the tolerance? It's like a gas pedal, you wanna figure out how much do I have to push it in order to get this much speed out of my sewing machine. You wanna get all those the minutia figured out. Practice all of that stuff and learn all of that stuff, because your first goal, it's not to become a perfect tailor or learn how to tailor your clothes perfectly. No, no, no. Your first goal is to just get comfortable with your machine so that it doesn't feel intimidating. And that's why you want to start cheap, not because cheap is practical or magical or anything like that, but because cheap, it just lowers the bar of intimidation. And most importantly, your first sewing machine, it's not supposed to be impressive by any means. It's supposed to just get the ball rolling and help you learn and develop and grow and learn all of these skills. Now, diving in a little bit more to those mini sewing machines, there's a reason why they're terrible. Let's go talk about that. It's in the next video. I'll see you over there. SD out. See ya.